The apocalypse in Devilman Crybaby does not begin with demons. It begins with a boy who feels too much, before blood spills, before cities burn, before humanity tears itself apart trying to survive its own reflection. There is Akira, a child in an adult body with no emotional armor. He does not resist the world. He absorbs it. Every cruelty lands inside him intact. Every sadness finds a place to stay. His defining trait is not weakness, it is permeability. And permeability, in a violent society, is already a death sentence. Akira cries easily, not dramatically, not symbolically. His body reacts before his mind can explain why. When others are hurt, his nervous system treats it as personal injury. When someone is afraid, the fear echoes through him like a second heartbeat. He is not fragile, he is open. And openness is treated as malfunction in a culture that survives by numbing itself. The world around him has learned to compress emotion into productivity. People function by filtering pain. Akira has no filter. He is a wound that keeps walking. This is the state Ryo finds him in. Ryo does not return as a friend offering comfort. He returns as a messenger carrying a truth the world has buried under centuries of denial. His presence is surgical, precise. He doesn't try to protect Akira from reality. He drags him directly into it. And the truth he reveals is not philosophical. It is biological. Demons exist. They have always existed. And humanity survives only because it refuses to look directly at what lives beside it. Ryo does not ease Akira into this revelation. He detonates it. He takes him to the Sabbath, a nightclub that functions as a ritual disguised as entertainment, where repression collapses in real time. Drugs, noise, bodies, moving without inhibition. The atmosphere is engineered to dissolve identity. Under the right pressure, humans peel open, and what emerges from inside them is indistinguishable from demons. The horror of the Sabbath is not that monsters appear, it is that they were already there. The boundary between species was never stable, it was maintained by denial. And once denial evaporates, the room becomes a battlefield between instinct and survival. Flesh mutates. Violence becomes language. The party reveals its true purpose. It is a doorway. Akira survives by stepping through it. The demon Amon enters him, expecting conquest. The logic is ancient and simple. The stronger will erase the weaker. Demons consume. Humans disappear. But the expected rule breaks. Amon cannot fully overwrite Akira because Akira does not resist with hatred. He resists with empathy. Instead of rejecting the demon, he feels it. And that changes the outcome. The fusion is not a victory of humanity over monstrosity. It is coexistence. A body designed for war now houses a mind incapable of emotional indifference. The demon amplifies Akira's strength. The human preserves his grief. The result is not a superhero. It is emotional overload given muscle. He becomes Devilman, a creature strong enough to kill demons and sensitive enough to mourn them. Every battle will now injure him twice. Physically, he survives. Emotionally, he absorbs the cost. This is where the apocalypse truly begins, because a being like Akira is incompatible with the logic of war. War requires distance. He has none, and yet he chooses to fight, not because he hates demons, because he loves humans. This distinction matters. Hatred simplifies violence. Love complicates it. Every time Akira confronts a demon, he feels the panic inside the creature he's about to destroy. He feels its memory of wanting to live. He feels the biological scream that all sentient beings share at the edge of extinction. Killing becomes intimate. It is not execution, it is collision. His first victories do not feel triumphant, they feel heavy. He stands over fallen enemies and trembles, not from exhaustion, but from recognition. He understands them. And understanding an enemy is a psychological injury. It removes the anesthesia that makes destruction tolerable. Saving the world costs him invisible blood. This is where Miki enters his gravity. Miki represents the ordinary world Akira is trying to protect. She is routine-made human. Morning runs, school chatter, shared childhood rhythms that exist outside apocalypse logic. She does not know what Akira has become. She sees the changes, the sharpened body, the distant eyes, but she treats him as continuous with the boy she grew up beside. That continuity stabilizes him. Their connection is not built on dramatic confession. There are no speeches about destiny. Their intimacy is quieter than that. It is recognition. She speaks to him as if he is still human, and in doing so, she makes it temporarily true. Her belief becomes scaffolding. Without it, the demon inside him would not need to fight for control. Isolation would hand it victory. Love becomes gravity. It keeps him from drifting into monstrosity. And this is the paradox at the center of his existence. The more violence he commits to protect humanity, the more he needs human connection to survive, the emotional fallout of that violence. Each battle pushes him closer to the edge. Each moment with Miki pulls him back. He oscillates between catastrophe and tenderness, held together by the fragile idea that what he is doing still matters. The horror of Devilman Crybaby is not that demons threaten extinction. It is that Akira can feel them. Feeling your enemy makes destruction unbearable. It transforms war into moral injury. Every corpse becomes a question. Did survival justify this intimacy with death? Akira never answers it. He simply continues, because stopping would mean allowing humanity to be erased. And despite everything he learns about human cruelty, indifference, and fear, he loves them. He loves a species that has not earned him. That is his tragedy and his power. As Devilman, he becomes a contradiction, walking through a collapsing boundary. To demons, he is a traitor. To humans, he is a weapon they do not yet understand. To himself, he is a body stretched between empathy and necessity. The apocalypse expands around him not because demons are winning, but because the world he inhabits cannot metabolize someone who feels this much and still chooses to fight. And yet, for a brief moment, it looks like it might work. Demons fall. Humanity continues its routines. Miki laughs. School days proceed with the illusion of normalcy. Akira believes desperately that empathy can guide violence without being destroyed by it, that love can exist inside catastrophe and steer it toward something survivable. The world still looks salvageable. Cities stand. That sensitivity is not a flaw to be burned away by war, but a compass that can survive it. And like all miracles in Devilman Crybaby, it is temporary. But its existence matters, because it proves the apocalypse did not begin with demons. It began with a boy who cared enough for the ending to hurt. The apocalypse becomes visible the moment fear finds a microphone. Protection has an audience. The illusion of shared reality survives. He presents evidence, images, footage, testimony. They are not invading. They are already here. Some look human. Some are human. You cannot tell the difference without blood. Screens glow in dark rooms across the planet, and every viewer feels the same neurological snap, the collapse of trust. Anyone could be a demon, which means everyone is guilty until proven otherwise. It arrives as neighbors staring too long at each other in the hallway. Every eccentricity becomes motive. Society does not fall downward, it implodes inward. Fear rewrites morality with terrifying efficiency. Communities reorganize around preemptive violence. The logic is brutally simple. Better to kill a human than risk sparing a demon. Survival becomes statistical. Mercy becomes negligence. Crowds form not to defend each other, but to identify weaknesses in the human perimeter. Suspicion becomes currency. Whoever accuses first survives longer. Empathy is reclassified as a defect. People who hesitate are marked as collaborators. Those who argue for restraint are treated as infected. Compassion looks indistinguishable from infiltration. In this new arithmetic, emotional intelligence becomes political danger. The capacity to imagine another person's perspective is treated as a security breach. Akira stands in the middle of this tide like an anatomical error. He protects people who would execute him if they knew what he was. This is the asymmetry of his love. He gives it without expectation of return. He saves strangers who scream at him. He shields mobs that would tear him apart if his identity were exposed. Every rescue widens the distance between him and the species he is trying to preserve. The more he proves his devotion, the less compatible he becomes with their fear. He is no longer fighting demons. He is fighting a culture that has decided fear is more rational than kindness. The streets transform into laboratories of paranoia. Checkpoints appear overnight. Armed civilians rehearse interrogation rituals with the confidence of people who believe violence equals responsibility. Children are questioned. Elderly bodies are inspected for signs of mutation. Language collapses into categories.